Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Everything is a lot.
Everything's a lot.
And so are you. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. How are you? You're at the spot, the place, your favorite podcast on the planet. Place where the conversation is pointed and the guests, right there she is, are sharp. The responses are never dull. We got Connie Lape. And Connie Lape. Is it Lape?
Lape.
Connie Lape. Brains, I got it right now.
You got it.
She's calling in from the suburb of Chicago, Chi-Town. We're going to talk to her about that. But also, she's doing two different special things. She's talking about re-engaging intimacy. What does that look like? How do we bring our sexy back? I ask people that all the time. They think you get to a certain age and, you got a different swagger. You have a different gravitas. You have a different conversation. You got a different look. You might even want to change your hair color or hairstyle. Talk to her about that. In addition to that, how do we support caregivers? I took care of my mother for 30 years, and it's not for chumps. It's not for chumps. How do we revitalize ourselves? Is it with intimacy, personal intimacy? Is it changing our hair color? Is it having a rest break? Is it knowing when to delegate? Is it knowing when to unfortunately separate? Sometimes you can't take care of a person that you love. You can't lift, you can't clean. There are dietary restrictions. Maybe they're on dialysis, whatever the situation may be, but being good to yourself, because if you're not good to yourself, you can't be good to anybody else. And Connie's about to be good to all of us. How you doing, Connie?
I'm wonderful, April. It's so good to be here with you today.
I'm so happy to see you too. Look at your hair. What are you feeding that stuff? It's so vivacious and beautiful. I know. Hair loss is really a problem when you get to a certain age. I don't know if it's medication that people take, or we stop taking care of our hair, or it's just natural attrition. What do you attribute that to?
A lot of times it's just natural part of aging that you might get some thinning. Like my hair's not as thick as it used to be, but I'm 66 years old.
No.
Or I'm 66 years young. And it's like not as thick as it used to be, but I still have good hair, thank the Lord.
Yeah. Well, we have to take care of ourselves. And it starts
right.
at the follicle. It starts at the root. Tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
How I show up in the world is I am been on this journey now of caregiving for 3.5 years. And before that, my husband asked me to take care of him. And I thought, can I do this? Like, do I have it in me? And I'm going to be really transparent about it. I never really wanted to take care of anybody. And when he asked me, I had to really sit with that. And I thought, okay, I want to take care of you as much as I can and as long as I can. In order to do that, there was a lot of transformation that happened in my journey. Things didn't always look so good. And I was really struggling with how to take care of him and how will I have time for me? Like, how does that work? How will I do this if I never have time for me? And what I found is I was being very controlling. I kept trying to run his life because I knew I was taking care of him. And it wasn't working.
Yeah, let me stop right there, because in that controlling, sometimes can that be, for the lack of a better word, a little cruelty? It can be a little mean, a little short, bossy. You do this, you eat this, you be, because In all transparency, folks gets on your nerves. We're only human.
Right.
Even taking care of your kids, it becomes a lot. So thank you for being transparent and honest with that, because a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to be the martyr. They want to be, oh, I was super this and I was super that. Well, you're telling a supersized lie, because it is difficult. Day to day, you don't know what to expect, right?
Right. It changes a lot, like from day to day, because you don't know how they're going to be or how he's feeling. And what I found was, you're going to love this one, but as we were going through this journey, and he pulled me aside. Now I'm running on just autopilot. I'm getting his meals. I'm helping him get dressed. I'm telling him he needs to move more. And finally, he pulled me aside and said, "You know what, Connie? I can't live like this anymore. I want a divorce." And I was shocked. I was devastated.
Wow.
He threw me for a loop. I had no idea that he was feeling like this.
Mm.
And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you're trying to run my life. Like, I still have the right to make my own decisions." And I had to really sit with that, April, and really think about, was I doing that? And the answer was yes. And what I did right in that moment, when I realized I was doing that, I had to just surrender and go, you know what? I don't want any part of that. I don't want to do that. He has the right to live his life how he wants to. I'm just here to support his needs. And I had to let everything go. I had to give it up to God, and say, you know what? I just surrender.
Right.
I don't want to be the running the show. I just want to be Connie doing my job and loving him and supporting him how he needs. I don't want to be telling him, you need this and you need that and you need this. And it's like, I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me either.
Right. 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 And because you are sick, that doesn't mean that you are less than. That
That's right.
doesn't mean that you're a problem. You're a
That's
challenge.
right.
But what we have to understand is that they're a challenge to themselves as well. Do you think that this person wants to be sick? Do you think that
No,
this person wants to depend on you for every little thing?
right.
And
Absolutely.
what people don't realize is when you have to be put in a facility. My mother, bless her heart, she lived here for 30 years. She wasn't really sick. She had some things as she got older, she got sicker, but it was pretty cool. Everybody got along, everybody had their own space, everybody was happy. But she had never lived alone, ever in her life, 91 years. And
Wow.
when she got sick, they said, okay, well, we're going to put her in a rehab facility. And I went to the facility and I saw that they were 3 rooms deep. And I saw that there was a lot of male attendants. No disrespect to males, they do a great job. But my mother didn't want some man that she didn't know changing her incognito.
Right.
My mother was not the social butterfly, so to be able to get up and go to the dining hall and eat with
Right.
others, and no, and then come in the room, be on that hard bed, you know, look at what everybody's looking at, the smells in there. She wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks. And they gave me the option. They said, can we, do you have accommodations to bring a nurse in? I said, I will do everything I can to make her last days pleasant.
Right.
But when you're in these facilities and care facilities, or you have to put your family in there, that's very difficult. But all I can say to you is be supportive. Go and see them as much as you can. Check on them.
Right.
Be nice to the staff. The staff is taking care of your mother, your brother, your child. Make sure that they're clean. Ask questions. The more visibility that you show, the kinder they will be. And if you're a caregiver, now, Connie, did you have rest break? Did you have a person that could come in and help you, or were you doing everything 24/7?
No, I actually have someone that comes a couple times a week and I get a break.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I had somebody come last week. I went out to California to see my great nephews. I have two great nephews now. One is 11 months and one is just, 6 weeks old. So I had somebody come to the house for 1 week.
Did you come? You didn't come to San Diego? I told you I would have took you out to lunch. We would have a
Oh
time.
man. The next time I come, I will call you.
Well, you call me. You will call me because we can definitely understand. Now, here in California, and I'm sure they have it, through Medi-Cal, they have in-home supportive services. And what they do
Uh-huh.
is they subsidize the caregiver. They're very generous. However, the person that you're taking care of can't own anything, nothing. You can't be
Um,
owner of the property. You can't have a substantial savings. You can't have anything because, again, it's government funded. They pay the caregiver, which could be the person living with you, and it's tax deferred. You don't have to pay any taxes on the money. They pay you up
right,
to sometimes $20 an hour.
right,
But you best believe that you're working for that $20 an hour. You should know how to check the blood pressure. You should know the signs of whatever this person has. You got to be responsible for refilling their medication, um,
right,
all of these things, and administering the medication.
right.
So, what are some of the challenges that you found, but also some of the benefits that you find from being a caregiver?
So the challenges in the beginning was finding time. And I learned how to do that. It's like you just have to set time aside. And because he can still communicate and we can still communicate, I would tell him, I'm going to be upstairs for, if you need me, I'm going to be working on my computer. I'll be about 10 minutes. So I would give him a time frame so he understood the time frame. Another way we can communicate is he'll text me. I'll say, I'm a room away. If you need me, just text me or call me. I'm right here. Because he was shouting in the house and it would just startle my nervous system.
Mm.
So we had to find a different way besides shouting from room to room. And that seems to work really well. Um, what I have found now, as I've been in this caregiving journey for 3.5 years, I had to become a different person. I couldn't be the same person I was before if I wanted it to work. He already told me I was trying to like run everything. And that's what I thought I was helping him, but I was not honoring him as a person.
Mhm, mhm.
And so by giving it all up and saying, you know what, I don't need to be in charge. I can just be Connie and just love him where he's at. And I don't need to try to run the show. I can just ask him what he needs. I don't need to tell him, well, you need to get up and walk now. He knows what he needs to do,
Right.
you know. And if he does it, he doesn't. If he doesn't, I'm not going to get upset about it. It's his life and it's his body. So that's what I had to come to terms with. And after I did that, we've gotten along so much better now. And the intimacy has come back into our relationship as far as more playfulness, because I forgot about being playful and I am playful.
Exactly. And intimacy doesn't mean penetration all the time, brains. Sometimes it can
Correct.
be the stimulation of the mind. Sometimes it can just be holding hands. Sometimes it could be a sweet little peck on the cheek. Sometimes it's
Right.
just getting in the bed and cuddling, you know,
Right.
the communication. And that's what we have to understand is, yes, there's men with prostate issues that can't get a rise. There's women with vaginal dryness that can't, you know,
Right.
destimulate. So, okay, we get that. But honey, this is the 21st century and technology and science can work magic. You have no idea. But the fact that somebody knows that you love them in here, in the heart, and in here, that is where the orgasms and that's where the intimacy begins. That's where love is. It's in the heart. Knowing that
Right.
someone is going to sacrifice what they're doing, their time, their energy. I mean, because it's very easy to step out. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had a woman that I used to sell cosmetics, and the woman came in and she was looking pretty frail. And she says, April, can I sit in your chair? And will you paint my face and make me pretty? I said, absolutely. And as her story started to unfold that she had cancer and that she had just left her chemo treatment. And I said, you're driving yourself? She goes, yeah, I'm driving myself. She says, my husband's stepping out on me. She says, he's got another person that he's intimate with. What do I do? Oh, why did you ask the cosmetic lady that? Why, and me of all people? Okay. Because I got an answer for you. I said, do you really want to have this conversation with me? She said, absolutely. I said, well, you know what? Sometimes you got to put on your big girl panties. He is there. He's providing for you financially. He is there in the evening. He's cooking your meals. He's making sure that you have medical benefits. I said, but he also has a need. He has a desire. She says, I know. She says, and when I take off my clothes, I've had all these surgeries. My body is all butchered. She said, it's not attractive. She said, when I take off this wig, I'm bald. She says, when I take off this medication, she says, I'm monstrous. I said, but he's
Oh,
still there with you and he loves you. I said, but you know what? He has a responsibility to himself, to love himself too. And she says, I know. She says, so we're going to go home. I'm going to have that conversation. She came back 3 weeks later. She told me, April, her eyes were bright. She says, it's been a game changer. I said, what happened? She says, well, we have a relationship by design. I said, by design? She says, yes. She says, I allow him to be with his friend. He says, but I don't want to see her. I don't want to smell her. I don't want to know nothing about her as long as he does what he's supposed to do with me. She says, and it freed him up. She said, it freed me up. I don't have to worry or wonder. She says, he's monogamous. I don't know a lot about the situation. She says, but I'm in transition. She says, and I love him enough to set him free, to allow him to live his life. Girl, I thought that was the biggest thing I had ever heard.
wow.
That
That's
was the biggest thing.
beautiful.
It was a beautiful story. As she
It
passed
is.
on, she passed on, but she passed on still embracing the love, having a relationship by design. So whatever that looks like for anybody, I'm not saying that's what anybody's going to do. You're going to do. I'm going to do. Not me, because I'll be done haunted the bitch. Okay, I'm not giving up that easy. But whatever it is and whatever makes you two feel good and the communication, once you have that conversation with him, didn't it free up your relationship? Didn't you? Don't you feel wonderful now?
Oh, I feel like so lighthearted. And so does he. Like he feels free and I feel free. We both feel good and happy. And we love each other. You know, when I came home the other night, um, I said, you know, you're still the love of my life. You know that, don't you? And he said, I do. And I said, and you know that you're always going to be the love of my life. Don't you know that? Because he was just being so affectionate and loving and he missed me. And he let me know that. And I love what you said about your relationship by design because it is. It is by design. You make it what it is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it just feels very freeing. There's no like way that a marriage is supposed to this and a marriage is supposed to this. And that's how I used to feel.
Right.
It's not true. It is what you make it be.
Well, that's by tradition and that's by programming and that's by outside influences, you know.
Right.
Because I'm sure if
Absolutely.
she had told one of her girlfriends and not talked to the cosmetic lady, it would have been a whole nother girl. You need to divorce him, or you need to do this, or you
Yeah.
know, you need to cut her to the white meat show and all that kind of
Yeah, you got it right. You're right.
yeah, but that wasn't it. She wanted that love. She wanted that love that she had, for numerous years. She wanted to transition. And she
Right.
wanted him not to feel guilty because because you're the sick person. Now I'm gonna talk to the sick people too. Your caregiver is not your whipping post. Okay.
No.
You don't talk to them crazy. My mother used to always say the person that gives you your medicine and cook your food, that's not who you talk crazy to.
Right.
You don't
Right.
boss them around. You're in a nursing facility or you're at the hospital. And people can be cruel to those nurses. I don't know how nurses do it. One woman told me that the patient bit her, and then the family cussed her out.
Oh,
And
oh,
they're sacrificing their time, their energy, because there's
right.
other people that can be very cruel.
Right. Absolutely.
And because you're sick, we know that you're in pain. We know that you're unhappy. We know that you're depressed. We know that you don't like going to the doctor, getting whatever treatment it is. But what you do is you have to succumb to your caregiver like you have to succumb to everything else. And you have to value and honor what they're doing. Again, Connie could have said, all right, I'll get a divorce, and it has some stranger coming in. And the whole set of circumstances could have been totally different. She could have
Right.
said, you know what? I'm not going to bother with having somebody to come in. I'm going to do everything. And then been a stone cold witch or
Which,
person to him the entire time. No. So what do you
right.
do for yourself for self-care?
I do a lot of meditation and breath work. Breath changes all your nervous system. It calms it down immediately. So if I'm feeling a little stressed or a little anxious, I just go sit and do a little bit of breathing for just like a minute. And then I can go, oh, okay. And then I can go talk to him without, taking it out on him. That's my big go-to. Another thing is journaling, like writing down my thoughts and getting them on paper. They're my thoughts, so I can say whatever I want and read it and look at it and get a more clear picture or get more clarity around what I'm saying or what I'm thinking or feeling. And then another thing I like to do is walk in nature.
Hmm.
Nature makes me feel very alive, especially if I see animals, then it's even better. But just being outside when
Love
it's a
horses,
beautiful
don't you?
day.
Don't you love
Oh,
horses?
I love horses. Yes. I go feed them carrots if I can, if they let me. Um, I just, I get myself outside. I love to be outside. So that is like my go-to. Or in my living room, I have space where I can put on my Alexa and just dance and move my body. It gets your body and the energy moving. So there's a lot of things that I do.
Well, also being very therapeutic is that you were a hairstylist and a hair colorist. And girl, just like I was a cosmetic salesperson, it's therapeutic. You help that person that's sitting in your chair transform. They
Yes,
trust you. You are massaging their scalp. You're listening to them. The hair and the skin have energy like no other. You know,
right.
when someone cuts their hair, it immediately changes their energy.
Yes,
You
it
know what
does.
what it does. What are some of the wonderful things that you've been able to share with your clients as they sat in your chair?
Well, honestly, most of the time, I was very close with my clients because I developed like an amazing relationship with them because I've been a hairdresser a long time. Um, 10 minutes would probably be about their hair. And then after that, it was all about them. Like I loved hearing about their stories. And I always wondered about that. Like, why do I like care about their stories so much? Well, now I know why. Because being a coach, you hear, you listen, you actively listen to people's stories and what's going on in their life. And I've always loved that. So I love being in service, and that's what it is. It doesn't matter if it's the hair, it doesn't matter if I'm coaching or helping a woman navigate her journey in caregiving. I love it. And now I'm speaking too. So I'm just doing like all these different things that really embody helping women.
Well, and you're speaking because you have a testimony. You know,
Right.
you have a true story. You have a real life experience. And so
Yes.
that helps elevate the frequency of others. And then when you connect with them in a very intimate, personal way, doing their hair, it's a bond,
Yeah,
it's a level of trust.
it is.
They look forward to coming to see you every 6 weeks. Oh, I'm going to get my hair done. They'll do anything but cancel that hair appointment, you know,
Right.
whether the
It's
roots are
true.
bad or not. Yeah, whether the roots are bad or not. And, they would rather pay you 170, $180 for a color than to sit in a therapist's office and be therapized.
Right,
Because
right, right, right.
they're among other like-minded individuals. There's a social aspect to it. So I get it. So I commend you. Now, tell us a little bit about your coaching and what you do in your coaching practice.
So in my coaching practice, it doesn't just have to be caregiver women, but it mostly is. And they really struggle with, finding time seems to be one of the biggest things. This other group that I'm in, I was just listening to them all because I understand exactly what they're going through. And it's not that I still don't have challenges, but I know what to do with them when I have them. Like one woman was saying, he keeps calling me and he keeps calling me and he forgets and he keeps calling me. And it's like, well, sometimes you just have to let it go and be okay that he's calling you. You can't change what somebody else is doing if they're not remembering. Like if you're setting boundaries and they can't remember them, well, that's a different story. He's got memory issues and you have to realize that. But maybe you can do something where somebody comes in and helps you so you can remove yourself from it, sometimes. You don't always have to be in it. I just really like helping women navigate through it. And like, a lot of times it's like, well, what do you do when you're stressed? It's like, I breathe. We forget how important our breath is and what it does.
It was our first gift and it will be our last gift.
Exactly. So breath work is a huge thing. It gets my nervous system calm immediately. So you can just go beyond on your day and not be feeling that anxiety and that, chaos, that edgy feeling. And it takes it away immediately. So that's my biggest go-to.
One of the things that my daughter gave me, a spoon. I said, a spoon? She says, Mommy, I just don't have enough spoons. And I said, well, what does that mean? So I guess that's the new hip millennial term for I've had enough, I'm tired, I've got anxiety. So now what do? I keep an extra spoon as a metaphor on my desk that when I've had enough, I scoop up some resilience, I scoop up some love, I scoop up some patience. You can hold a lot in a spoon.
I love it.
I loved it too. I was like, this is pretty cool. So
It is cool.
I keep that right here on my desk. So let's ask you some fun questions, Connie.
Okay. All
If
right.
you weren't a caregiver coach and a hairstylist, what in the world would you do and what would you be?
You know where I would be? I would buy a beautiful horse farm
Mm.
and I would have, I'm going to say 6 to 10 horses where I can let them out and run and play and feed them and take care of them and love them. But I would also make it be a healing horse farm for women.
Mm.
I would love to have a healing horse farm for women where they come. People heal around animals.
They do.
And horses will not come by you. They will not come near you if they feel like a really edgy energy
Mm-hmm.
or a nervous energy. They need calm because they're kind of a fight or flight animal. So, in order for a horse to come near you, they need to feel your energy and then they'll come near you. So, women that are healing really connect with a horse or any animal, really, that, you can feel that energy. But that's what I want to have. That is my goal, is to have a healing horse farm.
Well,
for
girl,
women.
I'll come and help you feed them. But I will not get on a horse. I got on a horse. I'll call myself, with my friends, and we're out in Burbank, California on the horse ranch. And that girl, honey, took off with me. I don't know if she felt comfortable with me, and I'm doing all of this and all that. I was a nervous wreck, and I mean, she got a gallop on her, and I was holding them thighs was tight. They was
You're hanging
bruised.
on.
Yes, they was bruised when I got off of them. And when I got off, I slid down. I gave her a couple sugar cubes. I gave her a carrot. I said, "Let's walk back, honey." The most I've ever done with a horse now is bet on it. And I feel guilty about that. I said, I don't want to have anything to do with them. They are very majestic. They're very smart.
They're so smart.
All animals are smart though,
Yes,
because they deal in a different realm of telepathic communication.
absolutely.
It's soul, it's energy. It's not this verbal vitriol that we're
No, it's
experiencing right
energy.
now. It is total energy. I
It
feel
is.
and they get along with one another for the most part. I love to watch
Yes.
clips on Facebook where you'll see a dog and a cat, or you'll see a dog and a horse, or you'll see a chicken and a turtle. They understand each other. It's a
They
soul
do.
language. It's
It
a
is. It's
nonverbal
beautiful.
communication. It is.
I love it.
If you were an appliance in the kitchen, Connie, what appliance would you be?
What appliance would I be in a kitchen? I'm going to say a sink with the water
Wow.
because I love swimming. I
Mm,
love being in the water. I love soaking in a bathtub with a
mm.
candle. It would be water, anything with the water.
Okay, well that's good. Not me, honey. I'm gonna be the air fryer. I want it to work quick. I want it to be crispy and juicy, easy to clean,
And delicious.
and delicious. Technology savvy. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be the cotton picking air fryer. If you could transfer, transpose, and go into a different realm, your past, stay here in the present, or project to the future, where would you land?
Project to the future.
Okay.
I would be I would be able to fly.
Me too.
I had a dream about flying one time and it was like amazing. Actually, I was just talking to my girlfriend about that and she had a dream too about flying. I said, if I was in Africa and I was flying above those canopy trees,
Oh wow.
I said, but I could see animals too. I go, it was amazing. I would project into the future and be able to fly for sure.
That's an amazing gift. If you could have a conversation with a 25-year-old Connie Lape, what would you say to her?
I would want to hear about her and who she is and just kind of listen for things she says that would give me a clue about kind of where she is and ask her about those things. Like, so if she's talking about a guy or, this happens with a guy and this, I would just bless her with some wisdom of my age
Mm-hmm.
and just see how things sit with her. I would ask her about her, but I'd also give her some of my wisdom of like maybe things I've done that were kind of crazy so she can relate to it. Not like I'm some little angel and I'm perfect in any way. I would give her some of my stuff where I was like kind of a badass when I was younger.
Exactly. But that leads also into intimacy.
Correct.
Bringing your sexy back. Brings, there's nothing wrong with being sexy with yourself.
No.
If you stand in the mirror, just butt naked, bend over, take a
Hmm.
look at it. Appreciate what it is, every scar, every wrinkle, every blemish, every bruise, all of that you gained honestly. And to
Right.
love yourself and to be intimate with yourself and feel yourself and touch yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame associated. That's very personal.
Yes, it
It's
is.
like the sink. If you don't ever turn on the water, baby, you ain't gonna never see it run. And if you are able to be intimate with yourself, okay, this is a big girl conversation,
It
and you
is.
have someone that is not able to fulfill certain desires that you have, this offboards a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with self gratification,
No,
whatever
there's
form,
not.
whatever form that is. And I'm telling you, the person that's not feeling good, they might like to watch. That might be stimulating to them. I'm just telling you, we're grown, and if you got kids, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
we are.
out of my throat.
Yes, we are.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
This is the 21st century, going into the 22nd century. Our rights as women is in the balance. It is. It's been a shame associated with it. There's no shame
Yes.
associated with it. If you're
No.
violating somebody else, if you're hurting somebody else, that's a totally different set of circumstances. But to love and honor thyself, that's a gift. That's
It
amazing.
is. It is amazing.
You
It
know,
is amazing. And there is no shame in it. It's your body to love. It was given to you by the Creator.
that's right. That's right. And so, again, if we get beyond that, people have been violated. They have been hurt. They've been shamed. The religious doctrine has forbidden it. Mama
Right.
said, oh, no, we don't talk about that. But you know what? You better get you some books and some videos and take a walk through one of these stores and see how that sink works. See how to turn on the water. Okay? Because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It
And,
is.
to love another individual in whatever space they're in is not always.
Right.
Love is subjective. Love is conditional. I'm a conditional lover. I tell people that too. That unconditional love. I don't buy that ticket. I really
Right.
don't. Because if there's certain
Okay.
parameters or certain things that you do that's out of my wheelhouse, I'll care for you. I'll respect you. But all that agape love, unconditional, that's big for me.
Right.
I am glad that you are honest and that you have been transparent with us and with the people that you're helping and with your husband, that you are able to say, let me dial back. Let me write down my feelings. Let me go out in nature. Let me go in the pool of water. Let me do something for me that balances me out. I
Correct.
appreciate you so much. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you, Connie. If they want to work with you, they want to have a conversation with you and follow you. I'm telling you, she's big on social media. She's got quite a fan club there.
Thank you. You can reach me at Connie Lape 422 at gmail.com. And you can also get a hold of me through Facebook.
Okay.
Connie Lape. Go to Connie Lape and you will find me.
Well, we're going to look for you. We're going to seek you out because you are a gift. Because Brains, as again, she's honest. Honesty and communication, that's all you need right now. It's not money, it's not power, it's not control, it's not manipulation, it's not ugly words,
Right.
it's not depression, it's not anxiety, it's none of those big $25 words. It's about love and communication. And once you
Right.
figure out where you are on that Richter scale, there'll never be an earthquake in your life.
Mm.
Thank you so much for being here on the Edge Brains. I need you to go in and connect with Connie. I need you to love, like, share, and subscribe. Love, like, share, and subscribe. One more time. Love, like, share, and subscribe. I want to raise those numbers to the roof. We've got over 2,000 episodes of wonderful people like Connie that are willing to open up and share and allow you into their hearts and into their lives. Thank you for all that you do. Go upstairs and give your husband a big old hug and a big old kiss on the cheek from Miss April and all the brains, okay?
Oh, thank you, April. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
It's been so much fun. Thank you, brains. I love you. Take care of yourself. And anybody else that you have the responsibility to take care of, know that that's a gift. That's an honor.
It is. Thank you, April.
Bye, Brenda.
Bye.